The envelope felt heavy in my hands, though it contained nothing but a single sheet of paper. Meet me at Café Lune, 2 p.m. Come alone. The handwriting was elegant, feminine, nothing like my boss's chicken scratch. I knew exactly who it belonged to. What I didn't know was why Elaine Mercer, my boss's wife of 20 years, would want to meet me in secret. If you're enjoying this story so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more captivating content that will keep you on the edge of your seat. I arrived 15 minutes early, my stomach in knots. The cafe was busy enough to provide anonymity but quiet enough for conversation. I spotted her immediately, poised and elegant in a corner booth, stirring her tea with practiced precision. Elaine had always been intimidating, not just because she was married to the man who signed my paychecks, but because she carried herself with the quiet confidence of someone who knew exactly who she was. "Thank you for coming, Daniel," she said as I slid into the seat across from her. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "I wasn't sure you would." "Mrs. Mercer, Elaine, please. We've known each other for 5 years. 5 years of company Christmas parties and summer barbecues where I'd exchanged pleasantries with her while Richard, my boss, clapped me on the back and called me his rising star. 5 years of watching their seemingly perfect marriage from the periphery. "I'll get straight to the point," she said, leaning forward. "I need your help with something, and it requires absolute discretion." I nodded, though alarm bells were already ringing in my head. She glanced around the cafe, then back at me. "Not here. Drive somewhere private." And I froze. My mind raced through every possible scenario, none of them good. Was she going to confess to an affair? Ask me to help her leave Richard? Or worse, was she going to suggest something inappropriate between us? Richard had been more than a boss to me, he'd been a mentor, almost a father figure since my own dad passed away. "I don't think that's a good idea," I managed to say. Her face fell, and for a moment, I saw something I'd never associated with Elaine Mercer before: vulnerability. "Daniel, please. It's about Richard. He's in trouble." Those words changed everything. I paid for our drinks and led her to my car, my heart pounding against my ribs. As we drove to a quiet park overlooking the city, Elaine remained silent, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. When I finally parked, she turned to me with tears in her eyes. "Richard has cancer. Stage 4. He's been hiding it from everyone at work, but he's running out of time." The world seemed to tilt on its axis. Richard, with his booming laugh and boundless energy, dying? It didn't make sense. "He doesn't want pity," she continued. "But there's something else. The company's new investors, they're planning to dismantle everything Richard has built once he steps down. They've already started moving pieces into place." I knew about the investors. They'd arrived 6 months ago with promises of expansion and growth. Richard had been enthusiastic, but lately, he'd seemed distracted, withdrawn. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked, though I already suspected the answer. "Because you're the only one who can stop them. Richard trusts you. He's been grooming you to take over, but he's afraid they'll push you out before you have the chance." The responsibility felt crushing. "I'm not ready for this, Elaine. I'm not him." She reached across the console and took my hand. "No, you're not. You're better in some ways. You see things he doesn't. That's why he chose you." That night, I couldn't sleep. I paced my apartment, thinking about Richard, about the company, about the future that suddenly seemed so uncertain. By morning, I'd made my decision. The next few months were a blur of secret meetings, careful planning, and heartbreaking hospital visits. Richard fought the cancer with the same determination he'd built his company, but we all knew it was a battle he couldn't win. In his final weeks, we worked together to secure the company's future, to protect his legacy and the employees who depended on it. When he finally told the board about his illness, I was ready. The investors tried to make their move, but we were prepared. With Elaine's help, we'd gathered enough support from the other board members to block their takeover attempt. Richard passed away on a Tuesday morning in early spring. At his funeral, Elaine stood strong, greeting mourners with grace and dignity. When she reached me in the receiving line, she squeezed my hand and whispered, "Thank you for not running that day." 6 months later, as the newly appointed CEO, I implemented the changes Richard and I had discussed during those final weeks. The company not only survived but thrived, becoming more innovative and employee-focused than ever before. Elaine and I remained friends, bound by our shared love for Richard and our commitment to honoring his memory. Sometimes, when faced with a difficult decision, I'd ask myself what Richard would do. But more often, I'd remember what Elaine had said that day in the car: "You see things he doesn't." Years later, at the company's 20th anniversary celebration, Elaine found me by the punch bowl. "He would be proud of you," she said, nodding toward the room full of happy employees and their families. "I hope so," I replied. "I know so," she said firmly. "You didn't just preserve his legacy, you built your own." As I looked around at what we'd accomplished, I realized that the most important lesson Richard had taught me wasn't about business at all. It was about courage, the courage to face difficult truths, to accept responsibility, and to drive somewhere private when someone you respect asks for help, even when every instinct tells you to run. Sometimes, the moments that terrify us most are the ones that define us. And sometimes, the heaviest burdens become our greatest strengths.